Hey, and welcome back to the channel. I am Coach Ian Bickel and I help people with their health, fitness and well-being, get them to lose weight, feel great and live a leaner life. So today I wanted to talk about physical versus emotional transformations, and this kind of comes about off the back of a video Ben Carpenter did on his Instagram, which I'll play for you right now.
Stop trusting weight loss transformation photos. In isolation, they do a piss poor job of telling you how good a coach is. If I took 1,000 clients and made them eat nothing but chicken and broccoli for 8 weeks, would I have some extreme before and after photos? Yes. Could I plaster them all over social media and get a shitload of client inquiries? Yes. Would it make me a good coach? No. Before and after photos show you a physical snapshot of 2 points in time. They tell you nothing about someone's physical health or mental health, or whether they could even maintain that after photo. But the fitness industry often doesn't care about stuff like that.
So one of the issues that I have with the fitness industry is that it's overly focused on just the superficial stuff, the stuff that you see, the abs, the ass, the kind of the sexual part of the fitness industry, and you know, where there's sex, there's money. And I think a lot of people look at these people and tend to assume life is better being leaner or in better shape. But if this is to the detriment of your mental health and physical health in terms of physiological health, i.e. menstrual cycle, osteoporosis, a downregulation in libido and all of these sorts of things, then we've got to ask the question, is it worth it? Now, I can put anybody on an overly restrictive diet, chicken, rice and broccoli, and bring their calories super low, get them doing lots of physical activity, they will lose weight. However, that doesn't teach people how to maintain weight, and it certainly doesn't teach people how to have a positive relationship with both exercise and nutrition. Now, I'm not ashamed to say I absolutely hate transformation programs unless they are done in a empathetical way and allows clients to understand the context in which they are operating in. Now, I primarily do one-to-one coaching for this reason, because I feel people do need that additional support, whereas these more group-based sessions, things may get overlooked, brushed over and not kind of brought to the surface as they should be. Weight loss is a big struggle for a lot of people, and these transformation offers a solution to their problems, and quite often it gives the individual who's going to follow this transformation very little responsibility. The responsibility is now placed somewhere else, on a diet, on the next diet, or another diet, and they tend to go through this cyclical yo-yo approach towards their diet. They lose weight doing whatever method, they regain it when they stop that method, and then they blame the method, or maybe go back to that method because it worked the last time. But what we have to be super mindful of is, if we're doing it over and over and over again, and if we're following another diet and bouncing from diet to diet, it doesn't work. We want to maintain weight, we want to manage weight, we just don't want to lose weight and then for it to be regained. And every time an individual regains weight, that's another psychological blow, and eventually they'll get to the point where they're thinking that they are the issue, they are broke. Now, the successful people, let's talk about them, because there is successful people out there. I would say I am very successful at maintaining a healthy weight, but also maintaining a healthy psychology around food, social situations, and not having any issues around body confidence and things like that. People may go, it's lucky for you and things like that, but this is something that has been trained. There was a time in my past, which I'll probably do a video about in itself, about how I was overly obsessive and took things way too far. But I feel that has allowed me to take a step back and understand all the moving parts, and also what you can actually get away with, and being healthy and lean and all of that sort of stuff. With diet, there's a lot of perfectionism attached to it, and these diets out there generally play off that. You require willpower and motivation. I absolutely hate it when I see people talking about, oh God, can't wait till this diet's over, or they're doing things that they don't enjoy. And I think there's this big association between dieting and misery, and you can actually enjoy your diet, you can lose weight, you can feel great, you can live a leaner life without it being such a burden and something that you have to do. It's just something that happens as a consequence of your habits and behaviors that you are following. That's another big reason why these diets fail in the long run. They don't work alongside an individual's lifestyle. For all the hundreds of thousands of people that may do these diets, You only see the success stories. You don't really see the people that have crashed and burned. And another thing that you never see is the after photos. So where are they in a year's time, 5 years time, 10 years time? I'd like to think the clients that I've worked with in a year's time, 2 years, 5 years time, the philosophies that we've been doing alongside our coaching has stuck with them. I focus on habits and behaviours and kind of teaching people how to think given situations and scenarios that they find themselves in their life. Now, these diets out there generally get thrown out the window because people aren't given different options, and there's always options, and it just creates this perfectionistic black and white scenario. You're on or you're off, and most people eventually with a diet, and this is all diets, are off. It doesn't matter whether you're tracking, doesn't matter how evidence-based it is. If you still have to kind of provide this overwhelming amount of thought and detail into your diet, that's going to eventually wane and fall off, and you'll go through periods where you're feeling really unmotivated, overwhelmed, anxious, till eventually that dissipates. You'll try something else, rinse and repeat, and we want to get people out of this perfectionistic mindset. As I've spoke about and want to go over again, health is multifaceted. Physical health is one component of health. We have to ensure somebody has good mental health. Somebody might be lean, but they may be hidden some sort of disorder around food or exercise, but you just see things from a surface level and put the pieces together in your head. Are these people healthy? And is that the sort of life that you want? A lot of people, they look at these people who are maybe professional athletes and think, oh, I want a bit of that, but don't realise that they're in the gym 7 days a week, they're doing multiple cardio bouts, they don't eat in a healthy way. You then look at that and assume that's what's required in order to have that sort of body. And for me, I'm all about efficiency when it comes to achieving said goal, looking at, right, what's the minimum dose that we need right now in order to move you further along the line. And quite often these diets out there just kind of throw you in at the deep end. The results might be extreme in the short term, but the rebound's often extreme in the grand scheme of things. As a coach, it's taken me a long time to learn to ignore these transformation pictures, but I'm trying to convince the general public that these aren't the answer. And I do have 1 or 2 clients that may look at these 6-week transformations and kind of maybe get a bit shiny object syndrome, and they're like, oh, but they've done this in that space of time. And I'm playing the long game because we all know that individual who has lost a significant amount of weight and has regained it. And that's not very good for personal pride of that individual. If you are taking it slow and steady, if you are enjoying life in between, if you are able to move the goalposts, if you are able to keep your shit together and continue in the grand scheme of things, that's going to be the long game. That's the winning game. That's the one that keeps you adherent forever. For me, with my personal bodybuilding goals, like, this is why it was so important for me not to be a bodybuilder and for me to be beyond a bodybuilder. It's important for me that bodybuilding is part of my life. It isn't my entire life. So I'm able to be a good father, I'm able to be a great coach, and I want people to understand that they may see a physical transformation from when I first started training to now, but what they're missing out is often the emotional transformation, the transformation in my psychology, the way I see myself, the way I see the world. And that's what I try and get across with clients is you can achieve what you want to achieve. You've just got to understand that you've got to really want to achieve that thing you've said is your goal. And a lot of people are maybe driven by the external stuff and they're not actually asking why that goal is important to them. I totally understand the psychology. A lot of people do think that they need some form of extreme, something that is so far the opposite to what they're doing now. They need to be good. They need to get on it. And I see on Facebook, and I tend not to interject because a lot of people just aren't ready for what I'm talking about. Sometimes they have to go through a little bit of shit in order to get to that place where they're ready to do the big picture commitment. And even then they may come to me and still not be ready. They still need to feel a little bit more. Now, I'm not against aggressive deficits, but it's got to come from a foundation of health, wellness and understanding. And if I've been, say for example, within my diet, decide to put my foot down a little bit, that is a choice by myself. It's not something that has been forced upon me. And this is one of the most important things with long-term nutritional success is choice. A basic human thing, and also you being in control and you following your diet. And I've said this a few times and I'll say it again and I'll continue to say it. You know, my diet is my diet. It's the Ian Bickle diet. It's subtly mine. And from a superficial perspective, look from the outside in, you might just go, oh, well, is that it? But I enjoy it and I can adhere to that. And that's the most important thing with any diet. So with anybody, I'm trying to get them to find a nutritional strategy that they can adhere to in the grand scheme of things, but also give them the necessary tools so they can move the goalposts, as I've mentioned, and be adherent in the grand scheme of things. With the pandemic coming to a close, vaccines are being rolled out, and everything's going to be returning to normal. Maybe throughout lockdown you've gained a little bit of excess timber, you're feeling a bit sluggish, your fitness kind of routine went out the window, and you're ready to get back into it. And just be careful and don't let that enthusiasm be the killer in the grand scheme of things. Transformation programs are going to be rife. I'm going to be considering looking into a group-based program just to bridge the gap between nothing and my kind of one-to-one service, because I do appreciate there is an expense there, but I want it to be right, and I do want it to focus on habits and behaviors. And I'm probably going to call it something like the habit shift, and I'm going to play on the kind of lose weight, feel great, and live a leaner life. If you're interested in that, comment, let me know, leave a like and subscribe, and I will catch you next time.